stillness. A cool breeze glides like an ocelot, swift and smooth, caressing the shoulders of passers-by, of readers and lovers in a coffee shop, children in a sandbox, and thin dogs running through the park. Of small planes' propellers smacks the light, divides into unseen particles of air, sounds that break with music, and instant memories swallowed beneath centuries of persistent seeds. A cloud hangs like a ball of smoke in the distance, underneath a vague noon sun, hinting rain near land so dry, the hills crack like scabs. Hindsight. It was as if all of your movements were dull, and the lights in your eyes fell to your chin. It was as if all you saw was a blur of cloud, and all you knew crawled out of its custom from a large bag of dust and bone. It was as if each part of you crumbled at the moment when night hovered in leaves, and red-throated cardinals sang down the sun and set the parade of sparkles into the deep. It was as if in the mist so many circles were absorbed into unseemly brilliance at such deliberate speed, each step another destination, so much so there was little distance through the structural dissonance of waves crashing stones that littered the ocean like small hills exploding coffee in the east. It was clear then why so many throats were dry, their lips parched with destiny, and how and why each turned on the other than themselves, leaving nothing to remain in their absence, least of all, dignity. Murmurings. There is something to say about rhythms, voices, the sequence of words dangling in the nights between letters, postcards, telephones, texts, Facebook, emails, all the possible conduits of things that connect the distance lovers keep after quarrels. Like broken windows full of brown eyes, looking over a street of dark silence. An emotion battered as a baseball with thoughts you wish to bring to me, somewhere from a garden of amaryllis, whose petals leap upward at a sun that opens, a suddenness of hearts on the tongues of those flowers, which whisper a gentle song of words that only want to mingle, yours and mine. Weekend spaces. Looking out the bedroom window on a Saturday, the street below trees, a sidewalk lined with impatience petunias, geraniums, rising beneath the warmth of an old woman's hands. You see a pace of people, their slow lives made plain for a moment, without the currency of intimate knowledge, passing either way as if you and they were trapped in confessionals, dark and lonely. It is mid-July. A maze of heat, still air sitting in the window screen, and somehow you see yourself at a time when you were wandering. Summer days, steaming pool nights, grass rolling into a dark distance of trees, reptile roads, slithering corner bends, blocking sight, turning into avenues, empty of wonder. Perhaps this is open to sight because of a small boy wearing shorts, leisurely pedaling a shimmering 10-speed in zigzags down narrow streets, where you see your own confused days when your thoughts were air, in a paper bag blown up with emotion, each breath blasting you into another direction, from what you knew into what was a field of electricity, sputtering in your imagination. Happens on a concrete surface is part of the story. The wondering voices of children rushing back and forth, red clay window boxes full of yellow dahlias and bright impatience, the limbs of a tall ash tree hanging over the black metal frame clear glass rail. And out of this unalterable design in the morning patterns emerge, dull as mud, indecipherable, as a cardinal rises from the mist of night, a red song in its red throat for an old woman in a thin cotton robe and bare feet, who walks the short cobblestone garden path below, her watering can substituting for rain, while wind slips through the sun-splotched leaves and twists the tempered sunrise into a hushed performance. Soon everything moves its own way in the far corner next to a freshly trimmed lilac bush. Beside the random disorder of the little boy's chipped wooden train set, painted dark blue with a gold stripe, and a coal car hurtling to a place where daylight parts the earth. Place to be. Soon the peonies will begin to flower. I want to be there when they bloom, when those big white and red stippled heads bend as if in the presence of a bright shadow. Such elegance in such deliberate and contemplative beauty. I want to be there when those large ants rejoice in their long labor, when the woodpecker stops for a moment and the hawk slows to admire, when the blades that fall away into a red-tinged green gesture ever so slowly on a summer's day. This is the place to be if only for this moment, a week or so in June every year, where every branch and stretched limb open up new ways to see into the deep. I want to be there when the thin wooden pinnacles holding the heads of these heavyweights bang beneath their perfect petals, when the maples' shadows move aside as if in glee. Sunday evening. You think of it as a compass and find relief. When the moon sits upon the hills like a mountain goat, you take its direction. The results were not at all what you had expected. Coming away from your armchair, a knot of flesh, with hands as full as teacups and eyes sore with experience, You see things for what they are, and for once are not misguided or left empty. You see the roof of leaves rustle in the easy wind, the fields under the gifts of sheep, and women walking on the smooth stones of night, childless and lonely, under a sky so arid and heavy blue, it bends over like an old man who waits ever so patiently for the last gunshot of time. This leaves you standing, a lone figure. You are a question mark, a strange memory eluding itself on a path so often journeyed, you can never, ever manage to get lost. This troubled garden. A blue jay flies from the fence. The black cat crawls to the tree. Purple heads of diaphanous, white morning glory bells, Boston ivy and sweet pea cling tendrils on the backyard wall. An airplane splits a ribbon of cloud. Green leaves hold up the light blue sky, and old wide maple pencils gray above a shadowed street. Light in the small corner grocery store flickers and burns, dances and blazes, its doors swinging open with each breeze. Light wanders into water like an insect. Air bends shoulders, salmon riddle streams. The sky grows foul like an unwashed sheet. Hills rise out of sinking horizons. Tall grass, a field of wheat. Cornstalks encroach the dark, same as memory slipping like a serpent through the indigent summer breeze. I then dream myself like no other. Lilies trail my blood-red eyes. Yellow flowering hibiscus steams. The angels' garden gates fly open as thin dawn marl with rusted teeth, a medallion of birch and rose petals.
A piece of twisted steel. Over the roofs of houses, a calm morning settles on the green tips of leaves. A blue sky streaked with white touches the stillness. Clouds like tongues lick at whatever. Helicopters, planes, industrial smoke moves. A cool breeze emerges out of grass, rises like a kite to get caught or tossed between the limbs of trees.
Flies jump up like jackrabbits from a food stain on a picnic table, or the fresh scent of dog shit perched atop an ill-manicured park, crown of brown and green.
A church bell, synonymous and solemn, interrupts the morning silence. On a wrought iron balcony, figures of sea nymphs, a piece of twisted steel. Not too far below the ceiling of sky, an old black man collapses in an armchair, his last breaths bursting like a cannon from a ledge of reality, a place where no one, only destiny, can hear him.
While swift young robins flutter back and forth and pummel the soil in a search for worms and the earth's elixir of cool, sweet morning dew. To listen without light. Clouds into shelter, Their solitude sings, arrows across islands, a deliberate grace. Destination of hardwood, pews spattered with longing, a spray without warning. You fill the space, alone, no arms or teeth, so caught as you now are, set in a magi's stone, unable to believe, unable to stand in this unspeakable place, this multitude in its parable of weaknesses, this emptiness amidst endless fields, absolute nonchalance, without face, without reason. Mary, I am only known because of you. You sit on my left thigh, and your long gold robe shadows me. I can command only if you smile. I can forgive only if you frown. I can laugh or cry only if you speak. I can share love only in the shelter of your heart. Each word I breathe waits a movement of your hands. Each wink of my eye sits in solitude until you make it real. This is my task, my fee, my penance. I was born from a kiss and you from the prophet's will. Our fathers alive in back rooms musing how, brooding at nights, asleep in solitude with a blanket and quick hands. What trials we face telling these far-flung tales. What doubt invades our deepest needs. We belong together. On the right hand of what is unknowable, we are willed. Sexless, petulant, burdened with story. Each a puppet to another's dream. This thing called time. Green ferns bending like willow, purple petaled potato plant glimmering in sunlight and shade. The black gate, a total eclipse. That moment when the sun, lost in its own gaze like a plant stuck in a window pane, the blind lights of morning, a purposeful place amid aspids and roses, roots and fire, epitome of belligerence. Of what waits in catacombs, on hillsides, and the grave sites of the hungry, the damned. What it's all aiming for. It's about a rush at perfection. You turn into mayhem and run through trees in the endless margins of a backyard. Autumn slowly smoldering, wet leaves around sleeping dogs. Bare tree limbs ignited with sunlight, you feel a strange silence placing your hands on the rake of wisdom. Your sure difference posing endless questions to agnostic gods. Thick fog settled quickly then, swallowing skyscrapers in the rapturous night, with searchlights cutting like daggers through your desire for a signature on the marble of a faraway mausoleum. And finally, lying alone, you feel the filth of exuberance, that bleak and harrowing charge, now come like a supplicant in brief moments of wonder, hidden behind your faded dream.